Hey,
What's up,
Tommy
T.
Ford, how you
Ford?
doing, bro? Ah!
Oh, I'm just listening to you play at school as youngster.
How you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm blessed, man. Blessed by the
That's
best.
good to hear.
Yes,
Now,
Yes, sir.
we was definitely getting some knowledge from Ian, definitely, in depth of the industry, dropping so much jewels,
sure.
Now, we was talking about the club, and I watched the webisode. The web series is definitely great. You did a phenomenal job. Could you elaborate on, how you feel about the series and,
Well, I think the most amazing part about the series and most powerful for me is the message, and that message of healing, that message of hope, that message of forgiveness. So often, many of us find ourselves in a position similar to Reverend Holmes, where we find ourselves going, you know what? I was thinking with the wrong head, and I got myself in a mess. But it's so important that we know that it's never too late to clean up that mess. It's
Right.
never too late to get things right. And the most powerful thing and most empowering thing in the world is to be able to sit back and say, I'm sorry. I messed up. Let's get this right. Let's fix this thing. And I think that's the most powerful thing. It's so easy for folks to sit back and judge and point the finger, but we all have some kind of mess going on. So I think the most powerful piece in the theme of this whole movie is the ability to forgive and ask for forgiveness. And as men, I think it's our responsibility to do so. When you look at our communities, we all torn apart. We all messed up. And the reason we messed up is because we messed up. God left us in charge as men. And so many times the job is unfinished because we don't have the power to say, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up. How can I fix this thing?
That is the truth right there. That's definitely the truth. Now, I want to elaborate on what you say because I totally agree with you because I'm married myself, and my wife always said, you got to have a purpose, men in general.
True.
And I definitely respect that. You got to know how to say sorry. You got to be compassionate, all these things, So I definitely respect what you just said.
Absolutely. And then it becomes, at that point, I have to do more than just say I'm sorry. There's a saying that says, if I can't change the crowd I'm with, then I need to change the crowd I'm with. So it's not okay for me. It's not okay for me to just say I'm going to get my stuff together and hang out with my boys while they act cutting up. It's like, yo, dog, and I've heard Ian say this, many times. Listen, we got to get business. Y'all want to waste your time chasing foolishness? Y'all go right ahead. But we're going to be about our business, and we're going to be about our Father's business. So I like hanging out with cats like that, with that kind of wisdom and that kind of insight, who says not only am I choosing to make the right choices, but I'm not going to hang around a bunch of knuckleheads trying to drag me down the wrong way. If I can't change the crowd I'm with, then I got to change the crowd I'm with.
That's correct.
I so agree with that. How you doing, Tommy? Just be nice. I want to mention something I seen. I think it might have been one of the earlier interviews when you started with the project that was posted on YouTube, and it was asking you, how you feel about this project and stuff. And he was like, just to be able to bring something, to a project. And to me, that passion of the projects that people choose as the veteran in Hollywood and things, what kind of drives you toward a project now?
Well, what drives me for this project now is something that says something. I think as soon I got three of them boys. Right. So it's so important. The Bible says we got to leave our children an inheritance. We got to leave our children's children an inheritance. So that inheritance does not only mean money. That we got to leave some wisdom behind. We got to leave the ability for them to know God for themselves. We got to be able to leave the ability for them to make decisions. I tell my boys all the time, hey, cut off that complaining, man. Men don't complain. We fix things.
That's right. Say it again, Tommy.
We don't complain. We fix things. We make it right. That's what he put us here to do. That's our job, dog. If you ever watch the Martin show, they always say Tommy didn't have a job. There's a difference between my job and my occupation. My occupation, the things I do to get a check. But when my job was to do what I was born to do, and I was born to fix some things. So that's what's so important that in choosing a project, that it has to be a message. And there's nothing wrong with playing a bad guy. Right. In a movie, in fact, there's no story without conflict. But the issue I have is, don't offer me a bad guy who's glorified for being a fool. If you are doing foolishness and you're the hero for acting a fool, then I don't want to play no role in that. Because the message has to be clear that the wages of sin is death. We got to stop feeding all this poison to our babies. Yes. There has to be a message.
Yes, sir.
And that's so very important.
Word. Oh. Yo, y'all been catching these Jews, man. We just giving, you know what? This is a
very good interview, very in-depth.
You know, positiveness, I do believe sometimes we lack it on a like my grandmother used to say, happy things are regular. You know, she used to say, unhappy things are unregular. It's easier to be happier than it is to be sad. You have to work at being mad. So she would say, what's wrong with you, son? And so when I talk to mine, I say, what's wrong? And I think now, you know, accountability isn't like it used to be, but for actors, it's even different, I guess, for radio, you know, or music. They hear the voice, but for actors, it's your face, it's your image. So branding, and you've done a phenomenal, remarkable job at branding yourself and name, and that's kudos to you. So on that, a lot of people can't tell it, but they know it like instantly, and that's a beautiful thing.
Right.
No, thank you, brother.
Definitely. And also, Tommy, you know, I was looking at your acting reel, you know? And
yes, sir.
You definitely could play the roles, you know. I'm looking at it, you know. I mean, it diversifies so many different characters, you know, and you really embody all them characters.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. Well, that's what an actor does. It's the difference between an actor and a personality. Some people we go to see, and they're the same play person every time we see them. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we go to see them because we love seeing that personality. But an actor changes characters. An actor is not someone who pretends to be someone else. An actor is someone who becomes
someone else.
So that's why you see the longevity in our Denzel Washingtons and Forrest Whitakers and the Fishburnes and the Morgan Freemans. These brothers are actors. They become someone else. So that's what I look up to these gentlemen, and one day when I grow up, I want to be just like them.
You know, Tommy, you've shared the screen with some legendary actors, and like Harlem Nights stay in rotation. In my house, and you know that crew right there, and then you know the classicness of you know the every week every line stuff that y'all put together, Martin on a sitcom. Can you tell? And now you're doing webinars. Can you kind of tell what's the major difference between the three different things: television, movie, and webinars?
Well, each one are amazing and unique in its own right. Television reaches the masses. You're there in someone's home, so it becomes an intimate relationship. So often I go out and say, "Hey, Tommy," I'm like, I don't know you. Can you get out my face like that, please? Because they're familiar. I've been in their bedrooms, I've been in their living rooms, I've been in their kitchens. They sit on the toilet while watching.
Yeah.
So to them, it's a personal relationship. Yeah. Now, film is different because film is archived. It's history. It's around forever. You'll always be able to archive a good movie. You mentioned Harlem Nights. That was my very first movie. I was right out of college, 23 years old. I'm 51 now. So film is archived. It's around forever. Now, there's a new medium that's coming up now, and Ian Fox helped introduce that medium to me, and that is webisodes. The webisode is the World Wide Web. That means everyone all over the world can see your gift. Yeah. So, you wouldn't believe how often I ran into soldiers and the servicemen and said, man, we were over in Iraq and we got a chance to see the show, and it did our heart good when we were in Desert Storm or when we were somewhere. So it gives you the ability, the internet gives us the ability to be seen all over the world. And what webisodes also do is we all walk around with a mini computer on our hip, which is a telephone.
True.
So I don't have to be in my home, in my living room, to watch TV. I have a device on my hip that gives me access to the world instantaneously, which is another advantage to webisodes. So each three medium are very powerful. There's another fourth medium which I still love and adore, and that's theater. And theater is a personal relationship where you're right there. It's intimate. It's tangible. And this webisode started off as a play written by Kenneth B. Davis, my favorite playwright in the world. I mean, my very first professional play with him when I was 17 years old, and then it was adapted into a film, and then from a film adapted with the wisdom of Ian Fox was adapted into webisodes. So there are certainly very unique mediums, and I really enjoy doing all of them.
Definitely.
Yeah,
you can talk.
No, I was thinking that about theater. Do you feel that respect is given for all actors when it comes to crossing over to those multiple genres? Like, for example, you'll hear someone make statements like, "Oh, look at such and such on a TV show. Guess that movie, this and that, and the third, or look at this, this movie guy. Now he's doing stand up." Do you feel within the industry as a whole that those lines are there, and how you feel about it?
I feel that if you are equipped, if you have studied, if you have put in your work and put in your time, then the platform is yours. But I don't think that you take advantage of and bastardize an art form by just saying, "Oh, I'm gonna try this." Well,
right.
Anybody can go in the kitchen and have that same chicken, the same spices, the same grease, and the same skillet, but everybody chicken don't taste like grandmama's.
Yeah, right. Here we go.
Check it out. And let me remind you guys of something. You see, look. The public will let you know immediately if you should be doing that or not. You understand what I'm saying? So you can think what you want to think, and you can try what you want to try. But if don't nobody buy it, you know that ain't your thing.
Right on
and
that.
Even deeper than that, it's about the art. So it's a craft. It's a passion for the art.
Love that.
So you don't just you have to respect this thing. You don't just because nowadays you don't have to have talent to be a star anymore. There's reality shows.
That's facts.
There's reality shows, and they call stars, and they don't have an ounce of talent. They can't poop and count their toes at the same time.
I think it's a family of people that get more money than everybody, and you can't even tell me what they do.
Anyway, no gift at all. Well, we saw some of the gift. Ray J put it on that mind anyway. Bible says
I wasn't going
life
there.
and death is in the tongue. Glory to God.
Man, Tommy, it's funny you said that because there was a time and a place where rappers were trying to break into the acting. And, could y'all talk about that? How did y'all feel about that? You and Ian, I'm posing this question.
Well, okay, I'll come from a producer standpoint.
Okay.
They had a public. They had people knew who they were.
Right.
Right? So it wasn't an unknown entity. Okay? But a lot of them came to the screen and flamed out.
Yes, sir.
So the business, it will equal out. That's how I feel about it. Okay? That's from a producer standpoint. Now, Tommy can speak on from another level.
Right.
And I think that Ian is absolutely right. From a producer standpoint, it's about numbers. It's about how many, every album represented a number. So if you're able to sell a platinum record, then you know that they had, a couple million people following them. So it made sense to the industry to say we can bring those numbers to film and television. However, as an artist, it becomes insulting for you to think that you have permission to just jump on screen or stage just because you have an audience. Faith without works is dead. Just because you got folks following you doesn't mean that you are talented. Grandmama used to say, everybody talking about heaven ain't going there, and everybody who get on in front of the camera ain't an actor.
That's true.
So,
definitely true.
From an artistic point of view, it's insulting for you to take a medium in which I love and I've studied diligently to perfect, and just because you have popularity, you feel that this is something you can do. Now, that being said, there are many actors and actresses who have gone and studied and who are amazingly talented on screen and who have had longevity in their careers. So it's not that just because you started off as a rapper that I don't have respect for you. Put in the work. Do the studying. Lay the foundation. And I got you. I support anybody who has a gift and who has the courage to use that gift. But show respect to the art form.
Right. Now, Tommy, would you ever do what you call reality TV?
I'll never say never. It's definitely nothing that I'm interested in. However, I will say this. It's almost like the minute ago when I said, it's like playing a bad guy. The wages of sin is death. Doing a reality television just so can act a fool, I can't participate in. Doing something that I think is going to either empower, and I apologize about the noise, y'all. I'm in the airport. I just landed.
It's okay.
But doing a show that says something, that does something, that is something, that leaves a message that can empower others, that's what I'm attracted to.
Right.
I'll say this. I think, I like to feel that all, art is still, that's art form. So when you said the word art, art form, a lot of times gets lost. Music is an art form. The act of creating things from feeling. And I do feel like sometimes the art form of it gets lost. And especially once the financing get involved. Do you ever feel you was in a position of uncomfortableness due to financing? In any play or project or anything?
I'm not understanding that question. Did I ever feel what now?
Okay. Did you ever feel like you find yourself in a position of having to decide about something you really felt a way about a character, or the finances about the particular project?
Well, certainly I have. There's a point when you put in as much work. I've been in this business for 30 years, so I'm not going to allow my gift to be disrespected. But at the same time, that does not mean that if I find a project that I'm passionate about, that I think is empowering, and I think that has a great message and could lead to a wonderful future, that there does come as many times in my career when I've said, okay, the money's not important. But that's when I know that when everyone is investing in a wonderful piece of passion. But I'm not going to let you use my brand for you to make money, and I don't make money. If you eat,
that's real.
Yeah,
if you eat, don't
so
play.
Hello, Walls. This should be a buffet for everybody. So there are certainly times when money is not that important, when we're all sacrificing our gifts to make for the art form. Then I'm certainly down for that, particularly on projects I believe in. And it's not just the project, it's the individual. I've known Ian Fox since I was in college, so nearly 30 years.
Right.
So when that brother called, it wasn't the first question I asked was not how much money you got to pay me. I answered the phone because of the relationship. I answered the phone because I understand he's a man of passion and a man of respect and a man of integrity, a talented brother who is older than I, so has wisdom that I can learn and grow from. So there are many times when it's not just about the money. It's about, one, the work, secondly, the art form, and then the artist that I have an opportunity to work with.
Right.
Now, a real quick, real quick follow-up, because Ian mentioned this earlier. He said the importance of a mentor. And you just referenced him like in the same light. Do you find yourself in that position, and do you take those opportunities to mentor the youngsters?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I mean, you heard Tommy's testimony. I mean, like, we didn't go into this thing like, would you be my mentor? I'm your mentor. It's just we got in at a certain level, and our relationship developed, and I watched him, and he watched me, and we trust each other. So he can get the benefit of the things that I've experienced as being a little older, and I can get the benefit of some of the things he's experienced. And so we both grow. But yes, I do that. I mean, I have photographers I mentor. I'm in the mentoring business. I mean, it's like, listen, the reason I got in this business in the first place, or my whole thing about life is, when I was 17 years old, I got so tired of people telling me what I could not do. And I swore, and I swore when I got in a position that would not be my testimony, that I wouldn't mind. For instance, let me tell you the greatest thing ever happened to me in my life, and right today. When I wanted to be involved in a lot of things as a kid, but for whatever reason, there wasn't a collegiate person in my family. There wasn't a professional person that could give me any insight to anything, right? And I wanted to do a lot of things, and my father wouldn't let me do them. And I swore if I ever had a son, that I would not let that happen. Well, God blessed me with a son when I was 19 years old. And I always wanted to be a baseball player. Right. I didn't make it, but my son made it to the pros. You understand what I'm saying? So with that type of feeling, I always enjoy young brothers who will listen up and take it to another level. I love it. That's what I live for.
I like that right there. My opinion on it too is, I'm especially like Ian, you got your own company, and Tommy, you got your own company and brand, and I like that you're making opportunities for yourself opposed to relying on somebody else. So I'll definitely commend you for that, entrepreneurship. Definitely respect it.
Yeah. I'm just
spread the word.
Yes, like I said, I believe in positive things from the existence of a seed. And it's like from when you speak of certain things, you can just tell and you can just believe it, man. So, I've so looked for positive things from you, brothers, that we've been following. And, people just need to understand and listen that the more you give, the positiveness you give, I come back tenfold, man. So,
it does.
I've been loving every word, man. You women are definitely in the right space, and the right space is place creates right things.
Well, thank you for having us on your show, brother. We appreciate you, and we hope to be working with you all the way down the line.
Oh, we'll definitely stay in contact, and definitely it was a pleasure, Tommy, and it definitely was a pleasure. And we're going to keep everybody abreast of the webisode, and anytime you want to come back to Shut 'Em Down Radio, you're welcome. And can we have a drop for Shut 'Em Down Radio?
Hold on, give them all the webisode information first. Give them everything, dates, like channels, .coms, like give them everything they need to know. Ian, you say you're looking for talent. I mean, give the people everything they need to know, because we don't want to say we didn't give them.
All right. Well, you can reach me back via email, and it's ifoxmedia@gmail.com. That's how you can reach me. Tommy got his own.
Tommy?
Yeah, you can reach me at tommygotAjob.com.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, look, I want to give big props to Shut 'Em Down Radio, boy.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, thanks, my man. Y'all be blessed.
Y'all be blessed.
Right, you too, man. Appreciate you.
All right, no problem. Thanks for calling in. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
we had a very in-depth interview with Tommy Ford and Ian. Yep. Definitely check out the webisode, The Club. Definitely a very informative interview.